Hi guys, and welcome to yet another episode of Game Chat. I'm Chris, and with me today we have Jake.
Hello.
And today it's going to be hopefully a bit of a shorter one, because I'm just going to be talking about Midnight Suns, and because I got to play an hour of it ish. Well, 45 minutes to an hour of the game at MCM Birmingham. I was surprised about how long I got, to be honest. Considering it's a demo, like, not behind closed doors, it was like at the actual convention. I was sitting there and I was like, they're going to come tell me to come off soon. They're gonna come tell me to come off, and then they never really did until the demo finished. And it was quite meaty, to be fair, what we played. So I'm just going to basically talk about it, and then any questions you got, Jake, just fire away, because you're the only other person that I know that's actually interested in this game. So I figured I'd get you on to talk about it. So, I mean, I don't know, where should I start? Like, it was a decent chunk. It was like the start was a bit of a tutorial, like, so you start off with, you've got Iron Man and Doctor Strange, and they're meeting with old Ghost Rider in like a graveyard.
Yeah.
And it's basically the world's going to shit, like hell's coming out of, like, with demons and stuff coming out of the ground and stuff like that around the world, and they're trying to sort it out. They go to him. He's reluctant to help. And then they get attacked, so he disappears, which is weird. But like, he looks cool. But only because, like, he looks very old, but like the other one's in it later, the younger one.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name now. Robbie Reyes, that's the one. So you get into this fight. They're all got the quips, the Marvel quips. So it's like, it's funny. Like, Doctor Strange and Iron Man are always making jabs at each other. And my one issue with Doctor Strange is that his voice actor sounds a bit too posh for Doctor Strange, I feel. Normally he's quite posh, but like, I don't know, it just sounded a bit weird. It sounded off to me. Tony sounded fine. He's as good as any Tony you can be. It's like, obviously it's not Robert Downey Jr., but it sounds just as good. Like, he's pretty good, and they've got the characters down in terms of how they act and stuff. So they were good. When they intro every character, you get like a little like title screen that comes up with them, with like a picture with them next to it. Like, and I think it was funny at the start. Ghost Rider calls Iron Man, like, I can't remember what it is, something like along the lines of Metal Boy. And then when Iron Man's title card comes up, it comes up with Metal Boy, which I thought was really funny. So they've got like the Marvel humor there and stuff. But basically they get into a fight with the demons. The demons come out, and it goes into like an overhead sort of kind of view. And you've got your cards that come at the bottom because it's a card game. And you have, like, for your cards, you have different attacks. Some that are like area effect attacks that can attack multiple people. Some that can only attack one. You have 3 attacks you can do per turn. But like, some cost more. So obviously, some of them you can only use one big one, kind of thing. At the start, it's very basic. You're doing basic attacks, just learning how to kill people and stuff. Tony has like blast and stuff. Doctor Strange, how he can make a magic axe and then just whack people with it. That's the very basic stuff at the start. They have, like, there is environmental attacks, so like, you can, like, there's one where Doctor Strange can kind of like create a gust of wind, and you can throw enemies into each other. So like,
that's quite good.
They knock each other back, but like, also one can die, and like, when you click one enemy, you can kind of choose the angle which they want to go, so to which person they want to like throw it at, which is really good. Or you can throw it at a piece of like a rock or something, and it will kill them, kind of thing. There's certain different enemies. Some enemies are weaker to, like, will die with one hit, regardless of the attack you use. Some will take a few hits. But like yeah, at the start it was very easy because it was just them two just trying to like learn the system kind of thing. And then can't remember because it's been a few days since I played it. I can't remember what happened, but they decide to go and find. They go back. They go back to the. What's Doctor Strange's place now? I sound like a right Marvel idiot here. Like I can't remember his name. The
Sanctum
Sanctum Santorum.
something. Yeah.
Go back there. Scarlet Witch is there. They're trying to basically they're trying to figure out what's going on, and Captain Marvel crashes the party by coming in through the roof, and Doctor Strange isn't happy with this. But basically then they get attacked again. But like this time you've got more people.
Yeah.
Wanda at the time is trying to what are those defensive shields around those places called? The wards of something. I can't remember what they're called, but she's trying to keep them up because they're getting attacked. But then you've got 3 characters to play around with, and you can move and stuff. So like you can have 1 free move per turn. I feel like I'm really badly explaining this. It's really hard to like articulate how it works because it can be a bit complicated. But you have 1 free move per turn that you can use, but you can do another move. I think you can
by using like your attack.
Use a card turn.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean. But like you can use the environment. There's one bit where you get if there's like a bit of rubble because there's a bit of rubble where Captain Marvel came down. You can like use that and pick that up and throw it at an enemy to hurt him or kill him, and that doesn't use a turn because it's already there. If you know what I mean.
Okay.
Like it doesn't use a card turn, so you still have your card turns after that. After every turn, more enemies come. They'll get reinforced. So you kind of have to like just keep killing until you kill them all eventually.
Yeah.
In terms of combat, I think it's fun. I think it's pretty basic at the start, but it was obviously a tutorial. Later on, you got to fight in a big city. This is after you create your character. So eventually, you go and find the Midnight Suns. They're not very happy about you being there. They're like, "Who are these people? We can deal with this ourselves." But like the caretaker lady, I can't remember her actual name, but she's called the caretaker. That's her character's name anyway. Yeah. She like they kind of they bring you in and you like they resurrect you basically, and the I can't remember the big bad. She has horns though.
Lilith or something.
Lilith, that's it. Like, you're her daughter, I think, or sister. I think it's daughter.
Yeah.
But like you can be a bloke as well, so you can be a son. Like you can choose whether you're a man or a woman. You make your character. Pretty basic. Character creator. Choose your hair, choose skin color. You know, normal stuff. I saw some hideous characters that people were making while I was in the queue. Some guy had a massive handlebar moustache and was just bald, and I was like, "That's amazing." Mine, I tried to make look like me. Sort of did. They didn't have my hair, so I had to have like longer hair, but it was fine. But then that's one of your characters then. So like they have pretty basic attacks. Like you have a sword and stuff. But obviously, I imagine as you go on, you can upgrade these stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you can unlock. You have a skill trees where you can unlock different types of cards, different types of powers, like more extravagant stuff. But like combat wise, it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy to get your get a hang of it. It sounds, from what I could tell, it's going to get a lot more complicated as it goes on. Like in terms of like what you can do, and you're going to be able to do a lot more stuff and have a lot more characters at your disposal. Like later on, you fight Venom, and he's a big boss character. So like he has a special ability where when you attack him, when it's his turn, he can kind of like keep you on the ground, but like also use you as an attack at some point afterwards. So I can only do it to one character at a time. So he can get you in his little tendril things, like his little black shit. If you don't attack that, he can use that person as an attack at that
Okay.
when it's their turn, kind of thing. So it's really interesting. You have to kind of like manage the tactics of the battleground. But boss battle in terms of him, he was pretty fun, and it took me a decent amount of time. It's like it wasn't over quick. It wasn't just me like attack, because he was bringing in reinforcements constantly, so I had to kill them. I did it the way where I was killing them first and then attacking him. But you can kind of stun people so they're out, they miss their turn, stuff like that. Like it's very much reminds me of XCOM. I mean, it is made by the same people, but like it reminds me of that in terms of having to think about what you're doing ahead of your turns, kind of thing, and trying to like react to what they're doing, kind of thing.
Yeah.
In terms of actual like story and stuff, it seems fun. It's very Marvel. It reminded me story wise of the Guardians game, where it's like they've got these characters down to a T. They know what they're going to be saying. Like they know the jokes they'd make, kind of thing. Like they're all pretty cool. Graphics wise, it doesn't look the best, but I never really expected it from the people who made XCOM, because like their game's pretty. They're always gameplay ahead of graphics, which makes sense with this type of game. In terms of cutscenes, it doesn't look bad. Like you know who everyone is. Some people look a bit rough around the edges, but like they've all got their own little flair to their own character, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoyed it. It's one of those where I was more hyped coming out of the demo than I was going in.
That's good.
Which is a good sign. I mean, you want to go over any questions? I mean, I can try and answer what you got. I'll probably explain it really badly, but it's like I feel like if you've got any specific questions, I feel like I'll be able to answer them pretty well.
Another thing.
And get into more detail.
Did you experience any of the like social side of the game?
Yes. Sorry. Yes. So you get to the Midnight Suns like base, and then once you come out of your little coffin when they revive you, you talk to Blade a bit, and he's got like a whole conversation wheel going with you, which is pretty cool. You have like most of the time you have 3 options about what you want to say.
Yeah.
But you don't. You kind of pick one, and then it moves on, so you don't get to go back to some of the stuff that you could have said.
Yeah.
But they react to what you said, depending on what you say, kind of thing. And
okay, that's good.
You feel you get the feel of like you can build a relationship with them, which is cool. There are some times when you're in the base, you can't have the conversation wheel with everyone. It's like some people just say one line to you. Some people have the conversation wheel, but I imagine that's going to change depending on the situation. But yeah, that seemed really cool. Like they've got the characters down to a T, so like lots of different people you can just chat with, and you get their vibe. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Anything else?
How do you feel about the roster of heroes in the game? Because I think it's pretty weak.
Well,
I'm not gonna lie.
The Midnight Suns people, you've got Ghost Rider, but it's like young Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
You've got Magic, who I personally don't know much about, but from this game, I'm like, this girl's going to be cool.
She's really cool.
You've got the purple-headed one. I can't remember her name now.
Nico
Minori. That's the one. Yep, she's cool. Like her. You got Blade.
Actually, I read on Twitter a few weeks ago that the voice actress for her is the same actress who played her in the Runaways TV show.
Oh, cool. That's pretty good then.
Nice.
I mean, that's if she'd done it before, fair play. I didn't hear great things about that show, but you know, yeah. Yeah, you got the groundskeeper or whatever her name is, the janitor woman. Can't remember her actual name. She seemed pretty cool. She reminded me of that, you know, that guy that's always with Blade.
Yeah.
Like kind of like a bit gruff, a bit, you know, she's been there, done that kind of thing. She knows what she's dealing with. So Wolverine was around. Spider-Man turned up at the end, but you didn't get to play with him because he kind of like just turned up and saved the day against Venom. you got Iron Man, you got Doctor Strange. Wanda, I don't know if she's gonna be in your team, or because certain things happen where it's like I feel like she might be taken.
I know that you can play as her because I've seen a gameplay video.
Okay, so maybe you get her back or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like because Venom was taken by Lilith, so I imagine she'll get taken by Lilith at the bit after the Venom bit, and then you'll get her back at some point.
I mean, you can't really have Wanda in a story without her being a bad guy first, can you? Really?
I mean, that's a thing now, isn't it? Who else was in there? There is a few characters that I feel like I've missed. Iron Man was there, obviously. Doctor Strange, Captain Marvel. I can't remember anymore, but it was. I only got an hour with it, so like it's going to be a lot more characters.
12 or 13, to be fair, including
like
your character.
I don't know if this is a thing, but me and Kate were in the queue, and we spoke to the people, and we asked them, like, is there any more characters to be announced? Because you obviously know Kate wants to know if Moon Knight's going to be in it, right?
I've heard bad things about this, but yeah.
Oh wow! Because she goes, there's one more character they're announcing, and Kate was like, "Is it Moon Knight?" And the woman's like, "I don't know." So I don't know. It might be. She gave me the vibe that it might be, but I don't know. Why? What have you heard?
Well, when they hadn't confirmed Moon Knight yet, they'd announced the DLC via Twitter because Deadpool took over the Twitter. Because obviously they've got to put Deadpool in it. Because
I didn't even know Deadpool was in the game.
Who cares about the supernatural heroes when you can have Deadpool and Iron Man?
There is. I like. Sorry to interrupt, but I like the way that you start off with Iron Man and Doctor Strange, and they kind of like. Obviously, you're Avengers of these days, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I like the way that they kind of. You have that team, and then they throw them into to meet Midnight Suns. So it's like it makes sense why they're there, kind of thing.
I'd rather if them put them in as like NPCs and kept like actual supernatural heroes.
Yeah, I mean Doctor Strange makes sense.
Yeah,
because he's got that vibe going on. But yeah, Iron Man kind of feels a bit weird.
Spider-Man's pretty mystical these days.
Yeah.
And then like Captain America and Iron Man and Wolverine, do you really need them?
Yeah, I forgot Cap was in it.
But the DLC is Deadpool, Venom, Morbius, and Storm.
Venom for your team, though?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
As
DLC, that'd be interesting.
Midnight Suns is Morbius. And it's like, where's Werewolf by Night? Where's Moon Knight? Where's like Elsa Bloodstone?
Yeah. I mean, Morbius makes sense. Vampire. Blade will have something to say about that, surely. But,
yeah.
And Spider-Man.
It just seems like the hero roster is more suited to like Ultimate Alliance than
Midnight Suns. I can see that. They've got obviously some of the key Midnight Suns people in there. I think they're kind of using the game as an introduction to the Midnight Suns. I imagine they want a sequel or they want more DLC. I think they're like easing people in with the Marvel characters that That's the vibe I got, because I feel like the start of the game, they kind of you start with the people you know, and then they kind of introduce you to them, and they all have good introductions. I
just hope that like the background lore has like mentions of these characters, so like if they do have a sequel, it's not like they've just come out of nowhere.
Yeah, no, I think they will. I think there's going to be a lot more.
Like how the Guardians game went really deep into the they did that really well, while still having a disappointing roster.
From what I could tell, like just walking around the main base and stuff, there's going to be like the stuff you can read and stuff like that, where there's going to be hints to people coming in the future, maybe, or maybe even coming in the game. So I think you'll be okay though. I think they're kind of just using the known characters to kind of onboard the people that don't know Midnight Suns, and also don't forget they've got to sell a game to people who are MCU fans. And people are going to see Midnight Suns and not think, unless it's characters they know, they're going to be like, what's this Marvel? This isn't Marvel.
They could have put Doctor Strange, Wanda, and Ghost Rider on the cover and people didn't know.
I mean, they are in the game. There's 2 Ghost Riders, so,
Exactly, like, that's twice as good.
I feel like even like new MCU fans don't even know who Ghost Rider is at this point.
True.
Unless they're watching Agents of Shield, which not a lot of people do. Overall, as a game, though, like I think it'll be good. I think I was impressed with what I played, even though I probably didn't explain it too well.
Yeah.
But it is one of those kind of games where it's like, because it's card based and tactics based, it's very hard to explain. But it's kind of a mix. The vibe I got, and I think this probably explains it the best, is a mix between XCOM and Marvel Snap.
Okay.
Which for me is a good mix because I love both of those games.
Yeah.
But having that Marvel coat of paint on it just makes it more fun because, like, obviously they've got all their like the Marvel jokes in there that you expect. It's very quippy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's very fun. I laughed multiple times playing this game. Like literally, like I was sitting there, like I can imagine everyone was hearing me laugh out loud because like I've got headphones on, so I'm like. And then I can imagine it's very quiet around me, and I'm just laughing out loud. I was loving it. I was having a great time. Music's very good as well, from what I remember. Music was like I was like, you know what, this is Marvel music, and but with a spooky vibe, which I liked. Yeah, audio's all good. Like most characters sound like you expect them to, and they all have good voice acting apart from Doctor Strange, in my opinion. But
yeah,
that might be a thing, like just getting used to him. But he just sounds a bit too posh for my liking of Doctor Strange. But yeah,
like English posh.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I'm Doctor Strange, but it's really like, I don't know if it's just voice acted bad or whether it just felt a bit wooden.
Yeah.
Whereas everyone else just sounded natural, like how you expect them to sound. Tony sounded exactly like how you expect him to sound.
Yeah.
Like Wanda, Ghost Rider, even like they've got the vibe of all the characters down, which is I think the most important thing for a Marvel game, especially this one with so many different characters. I think Guardians had like that core roster, but this is probably the bigger roster out of the main ones, other than Ultimate Alliance, obviously.
Yeah.
And I feel like they've given each character put some thought into them, so really cool. And I'm looking forward to like, I don't know whether I'm gonna have like a main roster that I choose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I feel like as I played the demo, it was like specific missions you had to take specific people. Which makes sense for, I guess, certain, like dealing with like someone like Venom.
Yeah.
You're gonna take certain characters, like other enemies. You're gonna take their like hero counterpart. You know what I mean? Like makes sense. Spider-Man turning up with Venom. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. Out in like less than a month now.
Yeah,
it's 2nd of December,
last week of December, yeah.
Yeah. There's still a character to announce before that time as well, apparently.
It better be Moon Knight, I swear to God.
I hope so. I kind of got the vibe that she wanted to tell me it was Moon Knight, but couldn't.
If it's not Moon Knight, it better be Elsa Bloodstone. They're the only two characters I'll accept. If it's some random hero who's got nothing to do with the Midnight Suns, I'm going to be fuming.
Yeah. There is some cool cards as well where you can trade, like you have your deck and then cards get given to you on your hand, but you can kind of swap them. There's like, I think it's 3 swaps, I think, or maybe 2.
Okay, so if you dealt like a really crappy hand, you can
you can click certain cards and swap them out for another one.
That's the one thing I was worried about.
To grab another one from the hand. You don't obviously get to pick it, but it'll switch out for a different card. Because I had an issue where I was just like, I've got like 4 of the same card here, and it's only really useful once.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, this isn't good. So I just switch, and he goes, you could, but it was like clearly a tutorial thing because it was like, you can switch your cards out. And I was like, oh, okay, that's why they're all 4 the same. I can't imagine it's going to happen much in the game where you're going to get 4 of the same card.
Probably
but
not.
and then it was like, you can switch your cards out. So I did, and then I was like, oh, that makes sense. And I did. There is some attacks where I just didn't like, so I switched them out. And you can like, there's certain cards where it's like Doctor Strange did some magic, and you can get like 2 extra cards out your deck. so you have
Yeah.
more choice, kind of thing. So it's stuff like that. You go out playing around with your deck and trying to get the best stuff you can do, kind of thing.
That's good.
So it's like it's not just you'll doubt these cards. This is what you're gonna have to do. You know what I mean? You can kind of
Yeah.
help yourself out a bit with your deck. Is cool. I'm interested to see how big your deck can get with all the different cards, like and how that, because you're only going to get a certain amount in your hand. How that work?
Yeah.
That's like it obviously works alright in the demo, but like in the actual game when you're like really far in, are you going to get, because you got so many cards? How does it pick them? That's what I'm intrigued by. But I guess only time will tell. We'll find out eventually. But I imagine with the trading off cards for other cards, like you can sort of see that they've thought about that. I hope, and like maybe it won't be as random as I previously thought it was going to be. Because that would be just the worst if it was just random cards and you just got like a card that's like have an extra move 4 times. It's like it's no good if you can't attack people. I imagine you get a certain amount of attack cards and then a certain amount of different types. Maybe.
Yeah.
You got any more questions?
No, I think that's everything. I can't think of any more.
I kind of hope that summed it up well. I feel like have I explained it well? I don't know. Yeah, I'm hyped for it. It's definitely one I'm going to pick it up now. I was like, do I pick it up at launch? I don't know. But like after playing that, I'm definitely going to pick it up.
Okay. I feel better. When I'd heard some bad things about it, I was like, maybe don't buy me that for Christmas, Nathan, but I'm going to go in there now and tell him that he can. All good.
Yeah. You know what? I kind of hope that he would have multiplayer at some point. But
yeah.
Because that'd be pretty fun. Especially if you could have 2 people attacking with 2 different decks. But
yeah, that'd be good.
Hopefully that's something they can do in the future, because I think that'd be funny in the Marvel game. But, yeah. Midnight Suns seems good so far, and it's a very different type of game to what any other Marvel game they've ever done. So I'm hyped.
That's good.
Yeah.
Would you say it was more like, if you had to rate it on a scale from like Spider-Man and Guardians to Avengers?
Well, it's nowhere near Avengers.
Okay. I can play that and be happy. So I'm sure I can play this.
Oh yeah, if you can play Avengers, Jay, you're gonna you're gonna enjoy this. It gave, obviously with the roster, it gave me Ultimate Alliance vibes.
Yeah.
And I rate Ultimate Alliance higher than Avengers, so it's definitely above Avengers. It's better. I'd say it definitely gives me better vibes than Ultimate Alliance. I say it's just under Guardians for me, but obviously Spider-Man's going to be, both Spider-Man games are at the top for me personally. Then it's Guardians. I'd say then it's probably this, but it has potential to go above Guardians because I really didn't like the combat in Guardians.
Yeah.
But I feel like I might like the combat better in this.
Okay.
But it all hinges on whether the story's better than Guardians or not.
I've got good faith in the story because I've been watching the little prequel animations on YouTube, and they've been so good.
I saw that. I was like, I need to watch these.
They're actually really, like, they could just make that a Disney Plus series and I'd still watch it.
They look really cool and really well animated, to be fair. But yeah. Yeah, I'd say it's definitely, it's one with a lot of potential.
Good.
But I could see it also, it's one of those, it's got a lot of potential, and I can see it being great, but I can also see it kind of like being great up to a point and then falling off as it goes on, because I can see it getting a bit old, but it depends how they mix up the system and the battling. But in terms of story, I think it's going to be a good time.
Good.
But yeah, we'll leave it there. That's been Midnight Suns. There are previews around, so like, if you don't want to take my word for it, do go look at other previews because they probably explain it in better detail than me. But yeah, I'm excited for it. We'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And yeah, bye.
Bye.